Dalan, 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 dalan. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today I wanted to talk to you about communication as a follow-up to my video on respect. We've had few discussions and messages about respect and how that could translate when we are interacting online. So I thought to give some clarification because I often hear people say they need a break from social media or they need a break from Facebook or what have you. And I always wondered what they were doing actually on social media. Because social media to me is a tool. Social media is simply a tool. It isn't meant to make you more depressed. It isn't meant to oppress you. It isn't meant to generate negativity from you or out of you. Of course, yes, you will have the trolls. The trolls are everywhere. But as it is commonly known, so long as you don't feed the trolls, you can have a pretty much very great experience online. There are a few pointers that I will mention, although, because I've seen that people tend to act differently online than they will do in real life. And that is something to be noted about, and that is something that you have some parameters in terms of managing. For example, for those of you who've joined me on Facebook, you know that when you send me a friend request, I usually tag you in a post where I explain how I interact online. Meaning that I expect you to say hello. I expect you to introduce yourself if I've never spoken to you before, if I don't know you, before you ask me any questions that you will want me to answer or insights or request. And that to me, that's really, really basic. Usually, if you go to my Facebook post or if you search my comments on Facebook, I usually start by saying hello to the person I'm speaking to. And to me, that's just common courtesy. If you were to meet me face to face, you will probably say hello. You will probably introduce yourself. And to me, I'm expecting the same type of behavior online. Of course, not everybody goes by the same rules, and that's fine. But that's why I placed some rules on my page on how to interact with me. The second thing, so the first thing is that greeting somebody, saying hello, introducing yourself, basic things that you will do in real life are things that you need to keep as a habit when you are online. And of course, as I mentioned, some people do not go by the certain rules. Some people just like to barge and just like to, comment right away and say what they have to say, or say what they have, what's on their mind. However, it is your latitude to ask to be treated a certain way when you're online, especially on your own page. So on my page, I have certain rules and I expect people to follow them. Those who do not want to follow them can just string along, scroll along, and go where it so pleases them. The second thing also is that I also say, if you are not going to interact with me on Facebook, you may just follow me. Most of my posts are public, so you can still look on, watch them, and even comment without befriending me. I really expect that the people who are befriending me are people I interact with on a somewhat regular basis, people who are really there to soak up the messages, to comment when they want to comment, or who interact with me in other spaces, let it be YouTube here, or Instagram, or by email or messages. Okay, I often looked at my list of friends and I do like a little purge where I basically unfriend the people I am not interacting with. I usually recommend them to just follow me so that I want the friends that I do have to be people I am actually interacting with. Okay. The second thing is that online, it is your responsibility to use this tool correctly. Okay, I often see people say, I need a break from Facebook. There's too much happening. There's too much of this, too much of that. While in fact, there are a lot of different options and parameters on Facebook to help you monitor what you want. Twitter, Instagram are the same. So you need to do two things. The first thing is to look at what you subscribe to, even here on YouTube. Look who you're following. Okay, I understand if you have family members who post things that are negative that you don't like, you don't have to unfriend them. You can mute them for 30 days. You can unfollow them so you won't see what they're posting, so you won't be uh, frustrated. But at the same time, they are still remaining in your circle of friends, so you can message them when you need to. You can go to their page when you want to, and not have necessarily to see what they're posting, especially if you don't like it. So that's the first thing. Paying attention to what you're following, who you're following, what kind of content these people are bringing to you, or is this the content that is being informative for you? What serves the purpose of the content that they're bringing on your timeline, that they're bringing to you? Okay, and seeing how that content is affecting you, how that is that content beneficial for you, or is that content bringing you more stress, negativity, so forth and so on. So you have to kind of do this filtering thing as you add people, as you follow people, so that when you go on there, the type of content that you're viewing is actually something that's serving you. And that's really important. I don't understand how somebody will keep exposing themselves to things that they don't like, things that are frustrating them, things that are making them angry. And this is what's going to cause you to need to take a break. You're going to have to leave Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media you're on because of that. And that is something that you can avoid. You can avoid it simply by choosing the people you want to follow, choosing the content you want to pay attention to. That's really, really important. So there is a spiritual component to this. Social media mimic in a lot of ways certain spiritual principle. One of them being the law of attraction. So for those of you who know the law of attraction is a basic principle that whatever you're paying attention to, this is what you're going to attract to yourself. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's something you like. It doesn't matter if it's something you don't like. So long as you're paying attention to it, you're spending your energy towards it, you are cultivating it, you're participating in it, that's what's going to come towards you faster. And a good example of that, of how that is manifested in social media, is with Facebook. The algorithm, basically, whatever you're spending time on is what the algorithm is going to give you more to see. So if you're going on posts where you don't like those posts and you're taking the time to read the post, to read the comments, to tell the person they shouldn't have posted this or blah, 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 all of that time that you're spending on these negative posts that you don't like is going to be factored in the algorithm. And the algorithm is just going to say this is something that is of interest to you because you're spending a lot of time. You're spending a lot of time on it. So you're going to start seeing more of that. And the same thing, if there are things that you like, there are posts that you like, there are people who are interacting and producing content that you like, spend time with that content. Send a like, send a heart, because that's going to be factored in the algorithm as well. But if you notice is that it doesn't matter if you like it or not, so long as you're spending a lot of time looking at it, poking at it, reviewing it, commenting on it, that's what you're going to see more and more. So one of the things you can do right now is to look at your timeline and look at what's in your timeline. That timeline is going to reflect part of the time that you've spent on Facebook looking at things and reviewing things. So you can easily filter that and make it a happy timeline. So once you've added all the people that you didn't want to follow anymore, the content that you didn't want to be exposed to anymore, then the second thing is to actually find the people that are going to nourish you, that are going to support you, that are going to bring you things that are going to motivate you and support you in whatever ways you want. And so there are a variety of people out there. There are coaches, there are pages dedicated only to positive citations, affirmations, that you can go on your timeline. Once you're following them, go on your timeline and see a drastic change based on who you're following now. And that's important. That's just you realizing that you do have the power to monitor your experience online. Of course, when you're going to go even on positive posts, sometimes you may have a troll that comes in. But it won't matter because the impact and the effect of these people are going to be much less. And remember, if you see something you don't like, you don't have to spend all the time. You don't even have to tell the content producer or the person that you didn't like it. You can unfollow them immediately, mute them for 30 days, or simply keep scrolling. I think this is one of the most powerful things you can say. Just pass by something. You don't have to always express every single thought that are in your head. especially the ones that are negative, because that means you're paying attention to them, that means you're nourishing them, that means you're helping them grow. Okay? So it's important to just realize that nobody can make you miserable when you are taking some action, when you are consciously seeking the things that are going to be beneficial to you, seeking the things that are going to put you in a good mood, that are going to stay and bring some positivity towards you. And that's important that you make that choice. That choice is not going to be made on its own. You need to actively seek the things that bring you joy. You need to actively seek the things that make you smile. Okay, so those things start seeking you as well. And so for me, on Facebook, on that little post that I often tag you guys on, I basically state I require that you say hello before you start asking me things, whether it is in the comment section or in the inbox on Facebook, that you introduce yourself if I don't know you, if I didn't speak to you before. And I have some guidelines in terms of the interaction and the messages that I like to receive. I do not want to receive anything that has violence in it, that see people being tortured or murdered or anything like that. And if you ever send me one thing like that, it's a warning, and the second time you will be blocked. It's as simple as that. There are things that I do not entertain. I do not use Facebook, for example, to get information on the atrocities going on in the world. Okay, I have my own way of keeping informed about those things, and it's not on that medium. And I will advise you that you do the same, that you choose which medium you're going to use for what. It's going to just simplify things for you, and that you do not entertain anything that's distracting from the purpose you gave that medium. So if you want to use Twitter to get information about, popular culture, for example, or whatever's going on in the movies and things like that nature, do not entertain anything else. If you dedicate it to that specific purpose, stay on that purpose and go there just to get that kind of content. Same for Instagram, same for all of the other, Snapchat, other social media that you can think of. Dedicating that social media the same way you will dedicate anything else in your life is important. It's going to make things a lot easier for you. You won't have to worry about engaging with people. You won't have to worry about explaining all the time to people what you're doing, or to you, and most importantly, you won't have to take a break, because it won't be something that's draining you. Most people who need to take a break from Facebook or from Twitter or from this and that, it's because it is draining them. It's draining their energy, and most of the time it's because there's a lot of negativity around them based on what they're following, what they're doing online as well. And I'm also saying what you're doing, because sometimes the negativity does not necessarily come from other people. Sometimes you'll be the one being negative in the comment section towards somebody else or under somebody else's post. So you also have to pay attention to that. Okay? It's really important to understand that every thought that comes to your mind, that comes to your head, does not need to be shared. I think this is like one of the most disturbing things that people do. They think that they need to express every little thing they're thinking about, or every little thought that comes to them. Sometimes those thoughts are not even theirs. Some of those thoughts are not even yours. And so be mindful when you share things online. Share things that you think will be helpful, not necessarily to other people following you. Sometimes it may be helpful to your own self. You make a post that you can come back to later on, that you can revisit. And I think Facebook is one of these tools that is useful in that way, because it may show you some old posts that you can revisit, see if they're still current, repost them, and so forth and so on. So your expression on social media is not just for people who are following you. It's also for you. Sometimes the message that you think is for someone else may also be for you. It may not be for you immediately. It may be at a later time. Just like for other people, some of the things may not be relevant right now, but they may be relevant at a later time. So that's why it's still important for you to look at it. It's still important for you sometimes to spend time with those advice, with those quotes and words that resonate with you, because if they resonate with you, that means there's something there for you. Okay. So this is what I wanted to share, which I did in the French video, and that has been requested to do in English as well. It's just that respect is not something that you look at from a separate angle. It has to be infused in all of the aspects of your life, or at least try to infuse it in all of aspects of your life, and that includes your activity and your presence online. I think it would be very hard for you to be respectful in real life and just being considerate and disrespectful online. That may brings a lot of frustration towards you. And as I mentioned, when you are disrespectful, when you are negative, then you're going to see a lot more of that. And the troll will probably be happy to serve on that purpose, to show you some of that. So it's just a reminder for you to be aware that you have choices, be aware that you can monitor and change your experience. You have a saying in the experience that you're having online. And also, don't take things personally. A lot of people online, they don't know you, they don't know who you are, they come, they express whatever thought is in their mind or whatever they want to share, and that has nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with what they know about you, because most of the time they don't know anything about you. So if somebody comments on your post and you don't like it, just keep it moving. If it is on your page, then you can remove it. You don't have to entertain it. And I'm sorry, I think there are sometimes this naivety where people think that just because you want to engage with people, that you want to engage in any kind of way, that you want to entertain any kind of energy. No, you have the choice to maintain a specific energy on your page and to delete whatever is not supposed to be there, to delete whatever you do not want to entertain. That is your right. That's why it is your page. Okay? Because, and also know that if you don't do it, then people will think that they can just interact with you anyways, anyhow they want. And that's a choice that you have to make. It's not about talking about the trolls or toxic people and all of that. No, it's about you setting up the way you will want to interact, the way you will want people to interact on your page or on your Twitter feed or whatever. That is your responsibility. The troll is going to roam the internet anyways. So up to you to tell them this is not a no troll zone. That's you who have to tell them that, because otherwise those platforms are public. Anyone can go, anyone can say whatever they want. And you have to use your own restrictions to make sure that certain behaviors or certain energies do not flood your page or your space. It is your virtual space. So I hope this was useful. Of course, if you have comments, other tips, you can share them in the comments, and I'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye bye.